Barakatuhu. So yes, the last time we had asked the question of where are all the books? Where are all the Islamic manuscripts, and how can we see them from the comfort of our home? So first place that we checked was Google. I'm sure everyone's actually heard of Google. It's a thing called the internet. But Timbuktu Manuscripts Google. So Google has actually digitized or obtained digital copies of a vast amount of the Timbuktu manuscripts that were, of course, produced in the Mali Empire. And we may have heard this famous story of King Mansa Musa, who went to Hajj, such a long time ago. Know that Eid al-Adha, of course, happened recently. So this is the first place where we can have a look at Islamic manuscripts. Now, the Timbuktu ones, some of them are in, a difficult condition, but, let's just see the from Google Arts and Culture. So thank you to Google Arts and Culture for, so if we just go here, So many manuscripts date from Timbuktu's 16th century golden age, when the city's command of trading routes across the Sahara made it rich with knowledge as well as silver and gold. So, scroll to navigate. Oh, there we are. The decoration and illumination of manuscripts began as early as the 11th century and could be very diverse, including page framing, calligraphic decorations, diagrams, and illumination. The collection of some 400,000 pages of the text details everything from the Quran, mathematics, astronomy, and astrology to bedroom advice, black magic, and the question of smoking should be banned. Okay, so interesting subjects discussed. They are written on a range of materials from Italian paper to goat to sheep and even fish skins. The manuscripts were not strictly religious or secular, but blended religion and science. One apparent text entitled Curing Disease and Defects, both apparent and hidden, contains key scientific information about diagnosis, medical ingredients, and treatments, as well as instructions for prayers to use in protective amulets. So, taviz, we call it in Urdu. I'm not getting into the discussion of whether it's halal or haram or bid'ah or whatever, but, that's not my place to discuss such subjects, but just presenting it as is. Many of the manuscripts contain teachings that are still very relevant today. The letter to the warring tribes is Quranic arguments to stop the fighting and live in peace. Some manuscripts are written in verse and poetic meter to make them easier to memorize. Others are narrative in style, using dialogues and anecdotes about kings and scholars to convey a moral or justify how certain conventions and beliefs came to be. Though many of the books deal with earthly matters, others cover the mystical deeds of saints and the phenomena of necromancy, communing with the dead. So there's a lot of stuff, clearly. So there's several centuries of manuscripts here from the Mali Empire. Timbuktu's manuscripts were renowned for their physical beauty as well as their wisdom. Calligraphy styles included the West African Hausa tradition, stylized Persian scripts, and the whorls and sweeps of curvaceous North African lettering. It wasn't until the 20th century that the intellectual, historical, and artistic treasure that the manuscripts contained began to be appreciated to any great degree, just in time for them to be threatened once more, then saved from destruction. The extremist militants who seized Mali in 2012 would have likely burnt the documents if not for the families who smuggled them to safety by jeep, car, and canoe. So let's explore. Then here we have a map of what looks like the city of Timbuktu. So here we can explore the book collection, which looks very, very cool here. So what do we have here? Part 8 of Explanation by Al-Qistalan for Ala Sahih al-Bukhari, authentic book of authentic book of hadith. So this is the hadith collection of Bukhari, of course. Explanation of Sharh Mukhtasar al-Khalil, al-Khalil concise handbook by al-Dirdiri. And Muwatta of Imam Malik, of course. This is a very, 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 very famous hadith collection. Not easiest to read. عن صفوة عن سمو بن عبد الله. I'm not sure what it says. Bin Abdullah. It's not easy to read, but you know, we have 790 pages, so it looks like it's perhaps all of Muwatta Imam Malik radiyallahu rahimahullah. So this is of course very famous hadith collection. Let's see if there's any copies of those. This is the Holy Quran, so this might be slightly easier for us to read. Okay, what do we have here? This looks like maybe tafsir. قال رباني وهن قال it looks like qaf. So this some North African scripts use one dot for qa instead of a fa. وهن قال رباني وهن العظم مني واشتعل الرأس شيبا ولم أكن بدعائك ربي شقيا إني خفت الموالي. This is of course Surah Maryam. وإني خفت الموالي من ورائي وكانت امرأتي عاقرا فهب لي من لدنك وليا. It's much clearer here. يرثني ويرث من آل يعقوب وجعله ربي رضيا. يا زكريا إنا نبشرك بغلام اسمه يحيى لم نجعله من قبل سميا. قال ربي أن يكون لي غلام وكانت امرأتي عاقرا وقد بلغت من الكبر عتيا. قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين وقد خلقتك من قبل ولم تك شيئا. قال رب اجعل لي آية. قال آيتك ألا تكلم الناس ثلاث ليال سويا. فخرج على قومه من المحراب فأوحى إليهم أن سبحوا بكرة وعشيا. So this is of course Surah Maryam, and this looks like tafsir in Arabic, but again very interesting. So we can go to grid view, so we can just click on something, I guess. Let's click on that one. Prophetic characteristics of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahu Nabiyyihim Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam bin Abdul Muttalib lil Matu'a min al Matu'a ma bin. So this is the description of the prophetic characteristics of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we click on it. Prophetic characteristics. Anyway, it's very interesting, but some of it is difficult to read because of the conditions of the manuscripts. And the script is not exactly easy sometimes, but so we can see a universe of verses. But this gives us a picture of the sheer amount of material that is available, alerting those alienated at the end of the 10th century, the differentiating issues with their righteous ancestor. Okay, so we have page 40. This looks like the same book. The stripped garments and putting an end to demands and bribes. MashaAllah. So if we click on it, okay, so there we go. You can read the book here. So it's advice from the ulama of the time. What's this? It's another copy of the Holy Quran. This is in the more traditional Maghribi style. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. In the Warsh Qira'ah. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين إياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. It looks like some bit is missing, so it goes at أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك. So looks like we missed the start of Surah Al-Baqarah. ونقدس لك قال إني أعلم ما لا قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضوا على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. So this is of course the beginning bit of Surah Baqarah. I think the first bit would have been missing. But anyway, so this is just one place where we can see the vast collection of Islamic manuscripts, and this is just what's in Timbuktu. I mean, what do we have here? Jurisprudence of notables regarding the realities of the Quran and the innermost essence of the realities of the prophetic tradition and the book. So, concise handbook. Very nice writing here. Yeah, so very amazing. I mean, we could be here for hours and hours and hours. But miracles and characteristics of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Again, could spend hours on here. So there's every conceivable subject, every conceivable. This just shows the depth and scale of what we have here. It could maybe, it's like a little ball here. You click on something, it tells you what it is. Yeah, very cool. So this is just what we have from Timbuktu.